Hey aunties, I hope you're all fine, dandy and well wherever you're watching this in the world today. So it's been a little bit of time, I've had a bit of an absence. It feels like it's almost routine at this point. So I'm going to give you a little bit of catch up. I'll promise you I'm not 100% in the slightest, but I feel comfortable and ready, we'll say, to come back and actually make a return to myself.
It's been a long time coming.
We'll say. So what I'll do is, as usual, I will get the eyebrows stamped down and then I will give you an update. I've actually written a script so that it's not just all send and then just 5 minutes of sped up video of me putting the makeup on. I'm going to try and actually do it as I'm doing the makeup. See if we can figure it out from there. I've just realised I've not got my wedding ring on. Don't worry, we are still together. I took it off when I was doing the dishes and I really can't be bothered to go back down and get it, if I'm bluntly honest. That's literally what it comes down to. So I'll get off, I will get the eyebrows glued down and in place, and then we can make a start from there. I'll see you in a moment. Sorry about the aircraft noise. This is the joys of living on an RAF station. Stupid aircraft. So I got the eyebrows glued down. I realised that there was a little bit more to talk about whilst I was kind of getting everything together, because start of the video didn't have anything prepped. I mean, it's kind of usual for me really, as where I'm going with things. What else is new? I don't know why I'm staring at my mirror going, what else is new? You're there. So yeah, I've got myself, I know normally I have a brew, but instead I've got a peach iced tea because gay vibes. And I don't know why it's gay vibes. Cold. Ice drinks in cold weather. It's July. Why is it like only 10 degrees outside? I don't know. So coming off of Pride Month, I saw a picture during Pride Month that was like a memory of a Pride look that I did a little while ago, and it was kind of the old way that I did my makeup, I think. I'll throw up a picture right now and you can see what it was that I was going for, excuse me, and I've decided I'm going to kind of recreate the look today, because the reality is I'm very proud of who I am. I'm very proud of myself. Excuse the aircraft again. I'm not going to, I probably will shout over it. Yeah, I'm very proud of who I am as myself and the journey that I've made in life, but I'm not very proud of the last 6 months, that's for sure. So I've kind of gone through a load of makeup, or all of my makeup palettes. I've picked out 6, and I'm gonna have one red from one of them, orange, yellow, green. So the Pride rainbow. I could do all of it on this one palette, but I have so much makeup that I barely use, so I'm gonna do this video with as much of it as I can, or as many palettes that I can. So I've got 6 brushes that I can like stamp things on with, and I've just got to decide how I want to go about things, because this could go very, very badly, very, very quickly. I'm scared. Don't be scared. So yeah, let's just get on with it. It'll be fine. It's looking okay so far. So yeah, my last major post was back in February to Instagram. I didn't post on YouTube then, as it wasn't a look that I kind of wanted to do for YouTube. And I did look stunning. I'll pop the image up now. That was Morphe, by the way. That was Morphe. I don't know what was the name on it. Morphe Life. Giving myself life. I'm going to go on to Nimya now, and we're going to use Ver. Nimya Ver. And yeah, I looked stunning, don't get me wrong. I'm well aware that I was absolutely gorgeous. Red, orange. I've got a new mirror. Somebody gifted me a mirror, so I need to start using that. I'm going to do Joyful, New Mood by Beauty Bay. That's my yellow. That's one thing I never understand, like why yellow's just like initial stamp. It's like, yeah, stunning, and then it's like, no, I'm gonna leave now. And then we're gonna move on to green, and I don't know. It says Rock and Roll Beauty, but I don't remember where I got this. I just ended up with it, and it's an Ozzy Osbourne palette. I'm gonna use Alive as my green. So yeah, back in January, I'll say, January time, I started having quite a severe identity crisis, is the only way to put it. I don't know why, it just randomly appeared one day, and it was like, hey, this is a fun thing for your mental health, have an identity crisis. Love that for me. You can tell I haven't done makeup in a while because the glue is all popping and I've not been patient enough with it. And that's on me. It'll be fine because part of this video is that I'm stopping caring if things aren't perfect. I've got to stop worrying that things aren't going to be perfect. Yeah, so I had a lot of things kind of were, oh no, that's two by the same one. Oh no, never mind. Just talk amongst yourselves. Jeffree Star Ranch. We're going to go for Grand Prismatic as my blue. Yeah, so I had this identity crisis in work. I thought it's stunning. And I don't fully know where it stemmed from. It was a lot of different things. That's the reality of it. It was several different problems all at once, and I think the final straw, one of the major things in that was that in work I got a temporary promotion, and it's still technically temporary, but it's 6 months later and it's still on the go, so I'm clearly doing something right, that's for sure. And yeah, it just made me question myself a lot, because I was receiving, I know this is going to sound like I'm absolutely crazy. I was receiving validation in that I was doing a good job, just being myself and doing a good job in work. Like, that gives you an identity crisis. Nice one. Like, what, where, why would that be a problem? Why would that give you an identity crisis, you would ask? Oh, that was the Friends X Revolution, and the purple was Apartment. So that is rainbow eyebrows. I know it sounds, like I said, it makes me sound crazy. You had an identity crisis because you received validation in that you were doing a good job. And yes, I know, it's like, that is absolutely bonkers thing to have an identity crisis over. However, I've never received that kind of validation before, like to that level. Like, I've been told I'm doing good in work, I'm good at my job, but this was something different, and I've kind of had such a negative work experience in so many ways that I genuinely didn't know what to do. Like, I was like, hold on, I never get this. I've never been the person to receive the correct validation of this level, and it really messed with me psychologically, because for so long I've blamed myself for that, and my drag, and somebody recently posted on their Instagram, another drag queen who serves in the military, being all like, oh yeah, top secret project in the works, blah blah blah, and I didn't pop off at them in this light at all. Like, I kept the negativity to myself, because I'm a grown-ass human being and I know how to internalize. I've learned that one very well. And yeah, it really got to me because I was like, hold up, like, you're getting all of this approval from your management that I struggled to get, like, and it pissed me off, like, big time pissed me off. Because I was like, why didn't I get that, like, that I was desperate for, and you're doing so well with? And again, that was part of the identity crisis, because I was like, is it something that I've been doing wrong? Do I need to change? And I think it was just so many different questionings of myself all at once that that was the problem. It's me, hi, I'm the problem, it's me, all that jazz. Gotta love a bit of Taylor. Yeah, look at that eyebrow there. That is awful. How disgusting is that? Anyway, we move on. So yeah, it was one of those ones where, like, I seriously struggled well, I'm still struggling now, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not fixed in the slightest, but I'm doing better, and that's what matters. So somebody else getting the validation that I was so desperate for so long, again, really, really messed with my head, because I was like, what was I doing wrong? Why is this person getting the validation that I so desperately craved from their management? What was wrong with me? And that's basically been the question throughout most of this. And yeah, that was the big question for a lot of the time. It was, what was I doing wrong? What was wrong with me? And it took me a long while to realise there isn't anything wrong with me. I'm awesome. Other people suck. I'm also delusional. Oh, we were talking about my last gig. As I was saying, I did a gig, and I wasn't myself in the slightest. I was really not in a good place. That's for sure. However, because of... Come on, you can multitask. You're a gay man, you can multitask. Yeah, and I was not in a good place in the slightest for that gig. Like, I look at how I was in that gig, I was not happy with myself. I wasn't happy with the performance either, and I very much think that affected me in a play, like, in how I did and how I presented myself. And I didn't present myself very well, that's for sure. I was not unprofessional. I'm not going to say I was unprofessional, but I could have conducted myself a lot better. We'll say that much. I think it was because I was in that identity crisis mode where I was questioning who I was, and unfortunately it didn't go down well. I shouldn't have done the gig, because now I very much feel like I've given a bad representation of my drag and who I am, and unfortunately it means that they are not going to ask me back because of that. I was very preachy about things. I'm trying to, how best to describe it. I was preachy, that's the only way of saying it. And unfortunately I pulled other people down in what I was doing, and that's not who I am as a person. Obviously there's reading people, but dragging somebody into your personal drama and your personal feelings is not good. There's no excuse for it in the slightest, and it was on me that I allowed myself to go into that position that I was in. Now, all of that aside, God, that was a lot of fallout. All of that aside, I did try and make a little bit of a comeback. Back in I'm gonna say mid-April, and I had a really cool idea that I was gonna do. Like, I soft edited it, like I didn't do any of it in drag. I did a number out of drag, did a whole edit for it, edited it all together, and the process of editing it just drained me so much. It made me kind of question whether I wanted to continue doing drag, because I was like, is this actually for me? Is this something I want to continue doing? Because I don't do it for a living. I do it for fun. I do it for entertainment purposes for myself. And it really did mess with my head quite a lot, and kind of furthered that identity crisis, unfortunately, in questioning who I was. Like, don't get me wrong, I've never questioned like my gender in the slightest. Like, I'm not trans. I am very comfortable playing this part. Like, I know I'm non-binary. Like, I think once I kind of learned there was a term for how I felt, I've used that. And again, coming through Pride Month and stuff, and very recently in the last few days alone, Instagram, for one of the military pride networks, is showing off a lot of non-binary people. Like, Non-Binary Awareness Day was recently, and it really again got to me, because I was like, I never received any of that support. I never felt like I got any of that from my management whilst I was serving, and this is nothing against the people who obviously feature in those. One of them I was friends with for a while. We went through training together. We've been to Blackpool together. So that's not me trying to piss on their parade in the slightest. It was just one of those ones where it was just like, oh, I see how it is. Like, obviously I don't matter. And again, internalized my feelings, which I shouldn't have done. So yeah, that one's on me. And yeah, so that was kind of, again, another catalyst. Like, I wanted to do this look during Pride Month, and I just wasn't feeling up to it because of how I was in my own head. And I wasn't willing to compromise my mental health for a video to put onto YouTube. It's like the Skittles. I remember now. So yeah, back in May, please excuse me. Back in May, I made a commitment to do a gig, and unfortunately I ended up quite ill in May, again, just because of kind of all part of this identity crisis of who am I, why am I, blah 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 blah, and I ended up bailing on the gig, and I regret it. I regret not being forthcoming with it, because I just kind of didn't show up. It wasn't a paid gig. It was more of a last minute favour for someone. And yeah, I ended up making myself quite ill. Stressing about it, stressing about just general stuff. And yeah, I did make myself quite severely ill from that. Not just with my mental health, but physically. Like, I was, well, just to be blunt, diarrhea and vomiting. And I knew it wasn't food poisoning because husband wasn't suffering with it, because we eat the same thing, so it wasn't that he was suffering as well. So it was certainly not food poisoning. And the only thing I could put it down to was stress. And I'd stressed myself out to the point that it's not what I planned to do, but I'm not mad about it. Really did mess myself up quite severely with that. I think that's kind of where May sits, to be honest. So June, let's move on to June. June felt like it was going to be wonderful. We were having a break. Not as in a marriage break, like between my husband and I. We were still going strong. What I mean is we were having our honeymoon. We were going out on a honeymoon. June actually ended up being not great. Honeymoon was wonderful, don't get me wrong. We went to Tenerife. We had a great time. We met some lovely people. I got to go to Music Hall Tavern, which was... Oh God, that's way lower than I needed it to be. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. We can do this. We went to Music Hall Tavern, kind of where the inspiration for my drag started. So you'll come blame them out in Tenerife for this right now. That's who I'm blaming. We had a truly wonderful time. The problem is in June we overcommitted, like big time overcommitted. Now, coming out of June, it felt like that Lady Gaga interview.
No sleep. Bus. Club. Another club. Another club. Plane. Next place. No sleep.
We started June. 3rd of June, we had our anniversary. That was our first anniversary. We also met the wedding planner for our new wedding venue, even though obviously we're already married. Explaining that one to him was explaining that to anyone's really fun. Being like, yes, look at that line. It's like, yeah, we are already married. However, we still want to have a wedding reception. So we went and met the new wedding reception place. And excuse me, that was on the day of our anniversary. So yeah, we had that. On the 4th, we flew to Tenerife. On the 11th, we flew back from Tenerife. No, I lied. We flew back on the 12th. On the 13th, my brain stopped working. 13th was Thursday. The 14th, we went to see Taylor Swift at Anfield, which was absolutely fantastic. 13 hours on my feet for from queuing till getting back into bed. I'll never do that again. Like, no matter who the artist is. But I did what I needed to do. I'd made a promise to my friend Rachel, who obviously passed away, that I was going to take her to see Taylor Swift. And because her parents gifted me a pair of her Louboutins, I was really lucky and I managed to get the Louboutins into the concert. I got to take Rachel with me and it was a phenomenal time. So pleased with it. Husband was massively supportive of me throughout that. And to have somebody willing to stand there with you for 13 hours to deal with a Taylor Swift concert and a load of Swifties, who is massively not a Swiftie himself, was incredible. The Saturday, that was the Friday night. The Saturday night we went and did Foo Fighters. Went to see Foo Fighters. Again, amazing concert. Like, I'm not a Foo Fighters fan, husband is. So this felt like, I'm like returning the favour to him. But again, had a great time. I always enjoy the atmosphere of a concert. Came back from that on the Sunday. Monday I had 4 nights in work. The Friday we went down to London. Husband took me to see Six. Finally got to see Six. It was amazing, which was actually my birthday present on that Friday on the 21st. The Saturday we went to Thorpe Park, got to ride Hyperia. Incredible roller coaster. So pleased with it. And we got really lucky in our second ride on it. We got back row. Amazing. Sunday we ended up going and randomly we were just going to go to Camden for some lunch, and we ended up getting tickets to go see Back to the Future the musical. Amazing. Back from that, Monday to Friday, or had the Monday off. Tuesday to Friday I had days in work. The Saturday morning got up and we went back to London as we had tickets at Green Day and Wembley. Amazing. So pleased that I got to see one of my early noughties. I know they're not early noughties, but like they're early noughties to me. Like teen angst bands. Like, so pleased, and getting to hear the whole of Dookie and the whole of American Idiot like performed in full in order was just wonderful. And then on the Sunday we went to see Frozen the musical. So in June we massively overstretched ourselves, and that's on us. Like, that's nobody else's doing. That's massively on us. Like, absolutely nobody else is to blame for that one. But again, it did play a little bit into that kind of identity crisis thing of with the overstretching, and it was like, this isn't good for us. We're being unhealthy in our lifestyle here. And again, I think that hit both of us hard, did June, because of that. The husband is home. Hey-o!
Hello. The weather is lovely.
I can see
Where is he?
in the studio.
Oh, where's the man I fondly refer to as my husband? No, honestly, I'm just trying to blow smoke up your ass. Something that is really impressive. I'm very impressed with you. Don't want to smudge it.
That's fine, because it's just the eyes at the moment.
Oh, fair enough. Well, I'll give you a kiss in a second.
My wonderful husband, Kieran. What was I saying? Forgot what I was saying. So yeah, I'm gonna stop trying to think and talk. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get these bits done. I'm gonna get the eyes finished, and then I'll come back to you. That's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna concentrate on getting the face finished, and then I'm gonna come back to you. So back momentarily. So I've sorted the eyes out. So let's kind of get the rest of the look completed. So yeah, my plan is now, after stabbing myself in the eye with my brush, my plan is that I'm gonna keep going with what I'm doing, with where I am at, and I'm gonna be happy about it. I'm not gonna overstretch myself. I'm going to pluck these eyebrows though. That's definitely something I'm going to be doing. Go on a bit of a weight loss journey in the run up to our wedding reception, because I would like to look a bit better for that. Which I don't think is an unreasonable idea. Yeah, I'd like to get some people back on the channel and do some more makeovers. Definitely think I need to do a better job of my own makeup before we do that though. Just kind of giving up on talking to you, so I'm sorry. So yeah, moving forward, like, I plan to be more active on the channel, on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube. I want to put myself out there a bit more, start bringing back the way I was with things, and just kind of not giving, well, just, yeah, giving less of a flying tuck as to whether or not I care what people think of me. As well, like, that's probably one of the main things, realistically. I'm, like I said, I'm comfortable with where I'm at, I'm comfortable with who I am, so there's quite probably going to be beard and body hair featuring more often, because that's the thing a lot of the time that stops me from doing drag, is just because I can't be bothered to shave. I'm like, can't be bothered to shave my face, can't be bothered to shave my body. Why does it matter? Like, realistically, why does it matter? I'm not doing a gig, I'm not doing a show. I've now got a breastplate, so a lot of this can get covered up a lot easier, which is going to be quite nice. So there's going to be less of a problem there. I'm just going to try and give less of a worry, be less bothered about what I present to the world, because at the end of the day, I'm going to always authentically present myself, and that's what matters. So I'm going to get off again. I'm going to get the final bits done, get my mascara, eyelashes and whatnot on and in place, and then I will be back for the final look. So that is the finished look. I went and did my hair a little bit. Just gonna bring it back to what it was. I need to update my hair. I need to get a haircut, that's for sure. The fringe is getting a little bit too long and there's far too many greys. Because that's something I haven't done actually since January, is dyed my hair. Shush, children, wherever you are. Children being loud. How annoying. So yeah, I think that kind of says a lot about the identity crisis I was having, was the fact that I used to dye my hair all the time. I used to hate my greys big time, but I've kind of accepted them now. I've not dyed my hair in a fair while. So I think that's a step in the right direction, probably. But yeah, moving forward, I'm going to kind of be working on my enthusiasm towards things. I've had a habit a while ago where, oh, actually no, this has been ongoing, but I've kind of noticed it within myself a lot more recently, in that people suggest an idea and I kind of latch onto it, and then I'm 10 steps ahead of them. Like, I've planned everything, I've got hotels organised, and da 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 da, and they just meant it as a passing comment, and unfortunately I always ended up disappointed. So I'm going to work on my enthusiasm in trying not necessarily being unenthusiastic, but not going 10 steps ahead, essentially. And I'm not going to chase people anymore. I'm very well aware that telephones work two ways, and that I can message people first, but on that kind of basis of latching on and being 10 steps ahead, like, I always felt like I'm chasing people, and that's a continuation with day-to-day stuff. That's not just that's not just with the planning of things, like just general things, like suggesting for people to come over and they're like, oh yeah, I'll see. And then like I constantly feel like I'm chasing people, and I feel like I started to feel like I was the problem. Like, is me constantly suggesting people coming over the problem? Like, is that why people don't want to come over? Like, am I being too enthusiastic about it? Am I creating an issue in trying to provide hospitality? Because I'm fed up of hearing people complaining that they've got nothing to do, that they're stuck in their houses or they're stuck in their rooms, and that they've got nothing to do or nowhere to go. And it's like, right, well, why don't you come over for a couple of drinks? Oh, I can't be bothered. Well, you can't complain about not being bothered and then simultaneously complain about the fact that you've got nothing to do. Either you have nothing to do and you are going to take the opportunity to get out, or you stop complaining. And I've actually confronted a couple of people on that basis and told them that I'm fed up with hearing it. And yeah, thankfully that kind of stopped. But I also took a step back from doing the chasing and being like, oh, do you still fancy this? Oh, do you still fancy this? Oh, just let it go. If people don't want to do something, they don't want to do something. And you can only put yourself out there so much before you end up having an identity crisis. I wonder how many times I've said that in this whole video so far. Let's add another one. Identity crisis. Yeah, and I think like stopping myself, like that one was something I realised a fair while back, and I stopped a fair while back, which did massively help me. And something else like that really kind of bugged me as well was at the beginning of the year, like again around the start of this, was that we put out our wedding invites, and a lot of friends came out of the woodwork and were like, oh, well, I'll assume my invitation was lost in the post. And again, I know that phones work both ways, and it's not just on them to constantly message me, and vice versa. It's not on me to constantly message them. But it's like, if you haven't actively been part of my life in the last 2 years, like we'd been here at Marham for 6 months, and I haven't heard of you. Like, have you once suggested coming up and meeting up where you are? Have you suggested coming down? Like, you can't just sit there and then suddenly not be present in my life for 6 months, year, 18 months, 2 years, and then suddenly expect a wedding invite. again, some of these people were people who I've chased for things and been like, do you fancy doing this? Do you want to come over? And I hit a point where I was just like, with these people, I was like, hold up, like no, you don't get to do that to me. I wasn't like, I didn't have any family coming. Like the invites were that scarce that none of my family were coming to my own wedding reception. They'd come to the actual wedding, they'd come to the thing that mattered, the ceremony, but they weren't coming to the wedding reception because that was reserved for like people who were my friends and who I see and hear from once a week, once a month, at least. And yeah, I get it, mental health. Like, I shouldn't be complaining and I shouldn't be thinking, but yeah. If you're going to put out all over your social media how amazing your life is, you can't simultaneously complain about or use mental health as an excuse for not keeping in touch with me, because that was what somebody did. And it's like, hold on, you're constantly posting all over Facebook your life, but you're not involving me in it. So what makes you think you're going to get a wedding invite? And yeah, anyway, I digress. I look stunning. I look amazing. There were very nearly tears. The eyebrows did not glue down very well, that's for sure. But I think that was because I kind of rushed myself. I was too quick because of how I think it's because I entered the video going, I just want to get this over and done with. But no, I'm not mad about the result. I don't think I'd do this again in this style, but I'm not mad about it. I'm comfortable and I'm happy. I'm going to go off and take some photos, pull out some more grey hairs. I know you shouldn't pull them out because two will go back in its place. Come back. Where are you? Oh my god, there's one hair sticking out here. Gotcha. Haha. Screw you. Yeah. We're not 100%. We're not back perfect yet. But hopefully over the coming weeks, months, however long, I'm going to make myself more present. I'm going to be more present within myself, because I know I could have probably waited another 2 or 3 weeks to do this, and I would have been even better, but I was comfortable and happy with where I was at right now, and I felt that now was the time to start getting this out. So we are back, we're comfortable, we're happy. I'm going to get off, I'm going to take some photos to get onto social media to announce the return of me. Right, see you later. Bye, hunties.